Hi, I'm Vanessa Karras, the current president of the JMSB MBA Case Competition Committee. And today in this video, I just want to share with you a few tips and tricks on how to build effective slides. So what do I mean exactly when I say effective slides? Really, your slides should be easy to comprehend for the person listening, and they should be clear and convincing. They should help people understand sometimes complex arguments that you're trying to make. And of course, they should be easy and quick for you to do, especially in those 3-hour time crunch. So with that, how do you build effective slides? You really want to have clear visuals, effective content, as well as get some practice, but with tools. And I'll go in details in all three of these elements just now. So first, for the visuals themselves, your visuals should really help the viewer understand what you're trying to say. And they should really direct the viewer in this understanding. To do that, you want to use appropriate font and colors. You don't know how the lighting will be in the room where you'll be presenting, and sometimes the judges will be far away from you. So you want to make sure to use contrasting colors as well as large enough font so that they can read, so that all your hard work that you put into your slides are actually worth it. Second, you want to control the eye of the viewer. So as I did right now with this slide, where I only released one element at the time, you want to choose how your viewer is going to view the content so that they only view what you're talking about right now, and that they don't read the whole slide while you're talking and start having questions about things you didn't even start explaining. And third, I suggest that you use SmartArt. It's a feature that's available on basic PowerPoints, and it allows you to do nice visuals in only a couple seconds. Like this visual right now that I'm using on the right portion of the slide was made using SmartArt. So really, your visual should help the viewer understand without distracting them. Now, if we talk about the content itself. First, the header and kicker are very important. The header is the portion of your slide on top, the element on top of your slide, and it should tell the person what you're about to tell them so that they know what to focus on and what to listen while you're actually talking and explaining during your slide. The kicker is the element at the bottom of your slide and should really reinforce what is the significance of what you just told them. How does it relate back to your recommendation, or how does it relate back to the problem that you were trying to solve? Doing this effectively, so using the header and kicker effectively, will really help the viewer not have to think while you're talking. You're really taking them by the hand and telling them exactly what you want them to understand and how it relates all together so that they don't have to think about a bunch of other things while you're talking. And it helps them to focus and to understand on what you're saying. Another element of it is really to be precise and succinct. Precise in terms of developing your ideas and not being too vague about them, so that if you're talking about a marketing plan or operations elements, that you really laid out the details of the steps, the details of what needs to be done. All this while keeping it to one concept per slide, so that you're not giving too much information in one portion to the viewer, and that they can digest what you're saying. You want to do all this while being succinct. So only have a few keywords on your slides that help you expand verbally, so that your slide can really act as a reference point for you, as well as complement what you're saying in terms of visualizing what you're saying. So really finding that right focus is important, and it will help you maximize the landscape of your slide. Finally, we get that question a lot, how to make slides faster. And there's no one trick for it, but really practice makes perfect. Some tips though for your practice, I really recommend using only a few slides templates. This might sound counterintuitive and not very creative, but it really helps you to only focus on developing a few slides and finding the most optimal way of delivering your information. For example, if you're in charge of implementation or the introduction part of your team, you'll always have similar elements from one presentation to the next. So finding the most optimal way of delivering that information will really help you in the long run in your actual case competition. Practice those slides at home. Practice making them without content and just making them as fast as possible so that it becomes second nature, and that when you're in the stress of the presentation, you don't have to think about it. This will not only help you to make the slides in the most easy way, but it will also allow you to focus on the content and the analysis and not have to focus on the visuals and the presentation of the information part of it so much. So to conclude, really by having clear visuals, effective content, finding those key shortcuts, and practicing at home, it'll help for the viewer to understand better the content of your slides, to have a more convincing argument and more compelling with the balance of your slides as well as what you're saying verbally. And of course, it'll be quick and easier for you to do. So with all that, you should now be ready to build more effective slides. So I wish you luck in your future case competitions, and go practice making effective slides.